Hey guys, this is part 2 of my drag transformation. After you have your contour done, if you don't like the way I did it, you can do the way you normally do, that's fine. I am going to do my eyebrows. So, I'm just going to use a Jordana Fabibrow Jordana Fabibrow eyebrow pencil. And I'm just going to draw them on quite a bit higher than, well, not quite a bit higher, just a tad bit higher than I would when I draw them on regularly, because as we all know, I don't have any eyebrows. The smaller, or the closer inside to your nose that you do it, the smaller your nose will look. So don't do it out here, or else you're going to look like you have a giant nose. But you also don't want to draw yourself a unibrow. So I'm just going to go straight up for my contour and draw a little point that only I can see, because you probably can't see it on camera. And I'm just going to go up, 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 and draw out my perfect eyebrow. It's better to start with the one that's harder for you, and then the second one will be easier to do, but I completely just forgot my own rule and did the opposite. So just sketch it on lightly so that you know where you want it. And then you're just gonna end up darkening it. I can't talk today. I don't know what my problem is. So just drag it along. If I do it like this, it's harder. Like, if I do it my regular face, it's harder. So if I raise, like, my eyebrow a tiny bit, my skin gets tighter, if that makes sense. And it's easier to draw. I don't know if anything that I'm saying is going to make sense to any of you. So if you don't understand me, just do what I do. So, like I said earlier, I want this to be a natural looking tutorial, a natural looking drag look. Like a fishier look than I normally would do. Because I like to do high fashion looks. Like the glitter on the forehead look. That was fun to do. La la la. So I'm like an eyebrow Nazi. Like, I'm so obsessed with eyebrows. So I take so long to draw them on. So I apologize for the time. But I'm like a perfectionist. Because eyebrows frame your face. So if your eyebrows look like shit, then you're pretty much screwed. Another thing that I notice in a lot of these YouTube videos is that people say your eyebrows are sisters, not identical sisters, or cousins, not sisters, so they don't have to look the same. I actually hate so much when people say that, and the reason is because if you are doing them and you're not trying to have them identical, and you're automatically going in saying, oh, I don't care if it's perfect, then you're going to end up with worse eyebrows than if you say, I want it perfect. So if you say, I want it perfect, and then it doesn't end up looking perfect, it's okay. But if you say, I don't want it perfect, then it's going to end up looking pretty junky. And I don't like looking junky. I like looking as best I can. So I'm going to do them thin. I think that's about all I'm going to do with this, and just wipe away if you have any little parts that fell off. So yeah, you can do cheesy smiles, just darken them, pick a color that's going to complement whatever wig you're going to wear. Don't just put on, like, a stupid color. Like, you have to think these things out, obviously. So now I'm going to take my little angled brush, and it's not going to focus, of course. It's double-sided, because I'm just fancy like that. And then I'm going to take my palette, my Color Mates palette, that I jacked from my stepmom, and it has all these colors, and it's broken, of course, like the top fell off. But that's fine. I'm just going to grab a nice dark brown color. on my little angled brush, and I'm going to start to map out where I want my crease to be. Hopefully this is dark enough to show up. So I'm just going to, the crease of your eye is right here, where obviously your eyelid meets this part that hangs down. If you're Asian, you might not have that because they have the monolid, quote unquote, as they call it. I'm just going to go just a tiny bit over my natural crease. I don't want it to look too crazy, so you just kind of have to sketch it out. This one's not showing up too well on camera. This palette isn't super pigmented, which is a little disappointing because I like really dramatic colors. But it works for this look because I'm going for a natural look. So I think I'm going to end up having to do this with my dark contour color. That's what I'm going to try to do to save the video. So I'm just going to take the darkest foundation powder I have, which is my C8 in True Match, and just use that to map out my crease. And then I'm going to take it like halfway over my eyelid and just bring it down. And then you should be able to see that it's starting to cut the crease, as it's called, which just gives you more eye space. And I want it to pretty much just blend in right here. So I'm going to use the other side of the brush and just kind of blend it in. Just kind of bring it up to the eyebrow. Yeah. Basically, do the same exact on the other side. You don't want it to be asymmetrical. You want it to be perfect. You don't want to look like you have a wonky eye. Yeah, I'm not going to finish that joke. I am just going to do my makeup. La 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 la. So now that the crease is cut, and cutting your crease basically just means drawing a line of where your new crease is meant to go. This one is fucked up, so I'm just gonna wipe that away and draw it again. I don't expect you to get your makeup perfect on the first time, but just do your best. Like, I don't expect you to be perfect, but I expect you to try your freaking best. So that's good. Now I'm going to take the other side of the brush, which is just a round-headed brush like that, and I'm just going to go on the side of the crease, on the outer side. I'm just kind of blend a little bit. Just blend it in as best as it can, because the most important thing to me is blending, because I don't like when makeup isn't blended properly. It just looks messy. It doesn't look like you actually care what you're doing. It's just kind of embarrassing to me. So I don't want to see someone else without blended makeup. So I'm just gonna blend it. Like, duh. This is so boring sometimes, putting on makeup. Like, if you're not in a perfect makeup putting on mood, it's just like tedious and you're like, oh my god. But anyway, the show must go on. So now I'm going back to this palette. Hopefully it works a little bit better. I'm taking just this black, because I know that it's not a super black, so it should just work perfectly. And then I'm just gonna go in the crease again. This is kind of like turning into a drag-zaster right now, honestly. Fuck my life. I don't even care right now. I really don't. I don't want a super cut crease this time. I'm just going to do it sort of natural. That way it doesn't have to be as perfect. I think it's actually going to look prettier if I don't try to make it perfect, if that makes any sense. So instead of having that perfect line, I'm just going to blend it in like that with the rounded brush. I think that looks better already. Okay, thank goodness. See, show must go on. Now I'm in a better mood already. Ta-da! This palette really sucks. Don't buy it. It's definitely not good for drag. At least not what I'm trying to do. Hello. See, it's really annoying when you notice that your makeup is not symmetrical. It's like, I put all this work in and then it's like, ew, I don't look good. But it will look good. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. At the end. If you look perfect while you're doing your drag makeup, then it's just strange. Like, it's not supposed to look perfect until the end. I like how that looks. Thank goodness. Now I'm going to go in with a little brush. Which one shall I use this time? I'll just go in with this flathead brush. It is a professional eyeshadow brush by e.l.f. It's just this really flat one, and it's like short and flat. Yeah, and I'm going to take it in that white color at the top of the palette and just highlight my brow bone right under my eyebrow. And just kind of drag it down. Blend it in. Get more if you don't have enough. I'm going to end up putting darker powder over my eyebrow later. So don't worry about it if it gets a little bit covered with eyeshadow. Because I like darker brows since I'm having my darker wig. So just blend it in with the other stuff that you have on already. And I'm going to look for an eyeliner in this big bag of eyeliners, which is kind of large. Oh, I know what I'm going to use. Okay, back to the brow pencil. I'm just going to fill in like that line with my crease a little bit. And just like intensify this so that it's more of a separation in between right here on my lid and my new thing. So yeah, I'm not making any sense, am I? I'm really not. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Ooh. Yeah, so oh my god, I'm going crazy right now. La 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 la. I don't know where anything is right now, including my mind. I'm gonna grab this other palette. Oh my god, it has pigment all over it. Okay, I'm gonna grab this palette. Don't look at my titty. This is my Wet n Wild palette. It's Blue Had Me at Hello, number 737. This is a really nice palette because it has this black at the bottom, which is super, super dark. And it's the darkest black I have, so I use it quite a lot, which is why I hit the bottom of the pan on it. Which is sad. But I don't know. It was a good color, so I don't regret using it. And then I'm just gonna take that around the crease. then blend it in. La la la. I take a really long time to do my makeup. Drag makeup, for me, the fastest I've ever done it is like an hour. The longest is like 2 hours. I'll probably end up speeding this up or not posting it at all because it's quite awful. Like the editing is... Not the editing. Ooh, I'm so tongue-tied right now. What is wrong with me, guys? Whatever, I'm just not gonna talk. Just going back and forth, blending and applying and blending and applying and blending. This light is really messing with me right now. It's not going where I want it to. I hate this light. I'm trying to get better lighting, but the light is blinding me and not being perfect like I want it to. So I'm a perfectionist and I want it perfect. This is actually really nice. It's really natural. I'm forgetting that I'm a boy. Okay. I'm back on track again. It's not ugly like I thought it was a few seconds ago. Just going back and forth, applying and blending. Ooh, I like it, I like it. Okay. Happy boy. I'm going to take this angled brush and I'm going to take it in this really black color, the one that I always use. And I'm going to bring it right under my lashes, like my lash line. This is going to make your lashes appear so much fuller, which is a brilliant thing. I'm just going to put it on the other side and then blend it with the other side. This is really just a smoky eye, essentially. Like a smoky eye, cut crease type thing. Just blend the shit out of your face, basically. You see how much thicker these lashes look than the other side? I think that is impressive. So just do the same thing to the other side. I'm not one of those people on YouTube that shoots half of their face and then does the rest of their face on camera, because that's just weird to me. Like, and I'm too lazy to edit it like that. So if I have someone that wants to come to Florida and edit my videos for me, then I'll basically blow you and I will have perfect videos. See, my nose always gets stuffed when I do makeup, I told you. Just blend it down. Make sure that the eyes are even. I think black is my favorite color when it comes to makeup, because black can basically fix everything, but it can also make a huge bullshit mess. This is actually turning out well. I'm quite shocked. I thought that I wasn't gonna be able to post this video because it was just gonna look like a big old shithole. But it's essentially the same techniques, not techniques, that I taught you in my first video, my first drag transformation, but it's a more natural version of it. My eyes look so full right now. My eyelashes do, at least. Now I'm gonna take my other brush that was the flathead brush that I used for the white, and I'm gonna just get a bunch of white and apply it right on the inside. I don't want it thick, I just want it a little bit lighter to brighten out my eye. So I'm just gonna, it's not a huge difference, but it is a little bit of a difference. It'll also clean up the crease and make it a little bit more perfecty. Cheesy smile! I don't believe this video is 20 minutes already. It's crazy. Now I'm gonna get a bunch of that white on my brush and dab it in each corner of my eye, like this. And just like, I'm just tapping it. I'm not wiping it or anything. I'm just tapping. I have more on the brush and add it more in and blendy blend. I'm doing good. Would you just take a gander? Take a gander on over here. I'm just going back and highlighting my brow bone a little bit, just to make it a little prettier. And then I'm going to go back in. You just want to layer the different colors and blend it until it's perfection, or as close to perfection as you can get it. So I think that's pretty much my eyes. Oh wait, no, I'm going to do a little bit of brown just to smooth this out a little bit under, like in between the black and my actual eyeball. I'm just taking a dark brown from that palette, and I'm just going to smooth out the edges just a tiny bit. And then last thing I'm going to do is take a tiny bit more of the dark black and just bring it right along the top of my lash line, just to fill in the color a tiny bit more, to make my top lashes look thick as well. I think this looks really natural and really pretty and really fabulous. So I hope you enjoyed part 2 of this video, even though it took fucking forever. I apologize for that. I'm sure that someone else on YouTube has the same exact look in like 5 minutes, but you're on my channel, so you wait. Love you. Mwah. Stay tuned for part 3.